Is HGV driving a better career than you think? Well, firstly, welcome to the video if you haven't come across me before. My name's Billy, my channel obviously Billy HGV UK. I've been a HGV Class 1 driver for nearly 3 years now as a heavy haulage and long haul truck driver in the UK. I pretty much travel everywhere and anywhere delivering and collecting general haulage up and down the UK. That includes Scotland, Wales and not necessarily Ireland, but pretty much everywhere else. And in today's video, I do want to go through this topic. And the reason why I say that is because I get questions on a regular basis on social media regarding young drivers. What's it like to be a HGV driver? You've been doing this for so long, Billy. But I've been following your videos and it does take its toll on you, doesn't it, Billy? You've got bags under your eyes, you look very tired, and I didn't think you would see it through. Well, let's firstly cover some myths and let's be absolutely transparent and honest on this video, because when I first started driving, my view, my opinion, my objective was to be transparent, honest, and show you and tell you exactly how it is from my perspective, from my personal experience within the industry, based on what I do day in and day out. The topic says it all. Is trucking a better career than you think? Well, it depends how you look at it. First and foremost, I do personally think, based on what I've seen, what I've researched, what I've experienced so far, it depends on what you want out of the industry. Having a Class 1 HGV licence or a Class 2 HGV licence is a fantastic asset to have in your back pocket. And why do I say that? Well, the reason being is because, number one, you're never ever going to be out of work. You'll always have some form of work available to you. Now, that necessarily won't be working for a company directly, maybe. That may be working for an agency where you can get some weekend work or some work here and there to keep the money coming in and ticking over. You never know what you're doing from day to day, what company you may be going to work for if you're an agency driver, and how much the rates are going to be until you start. But overall, it's a great asset to have in your pocket. Now, a lot of people, as you can see from today's video, I mean, I got my driving licence back in 2022 through the HGV Mainstream Boot Camp, which was based out of Sittingbourne post-COVID. I saw an opportunity, I took it with both hands. I really, really wanted to become a HGV driver. And my dad has always said to me, God bless his soul, who died not long before I started my training. In fact, the weekend I started my training, he passed away. He's always said to me, son, make sure you get your licenses. And he said to me in the military, make sure you get your licenses, your heavy good licenses, because number one, there'll always be trucks on the road. Number two, you'll always have work. And number three, at least you'll always have some form of income coming in. You might not necessarily like it, but at least you have something, where a lot of people have nothing out there. It's a qualification you have for life, unless obviously you lose your license for doing something absolutely stupid. And to this day, I made sure that I did it. So it really comes down to personal preference. Are you in this for the long term? Are you in this for the short term? Etc, etc. What do I think? Well, I do think it's a great industry to be in, but there's going to be a big but and a big however. Based on my experience so far working for I've worked for 3 companies so far since I've been driving. My recent one's been 2 years. And my other 2 experiences was more short term. Based on my experience and what I see in this industry and how a driver possibly can be treated, I would say it's not what it seems on paper. Let me just repeat that for any new drivers coming into the industry. It's not what it seems on paper. So I'm going to give you the realistic situation. When you work for general haulage company, you could be picking up anything and everything, going anywhere and everywhere, pretty much. You will, and I will have touched on some of these topics in my previous video, one of my previous videos on a driver shortage, that you will, when you're on the road, you will have very, very long days. Now, don't get me wrong, I came into this industry knowing I'll have long days. I had a burning desire to stick it out, no matter what, at all costs. I will do the long hours if I have to. I will sacrifice home time if I had to get my experience, because I want to go places. I don't want to be static and stay still. I truly enjoy what I do, so I've got a desire to do that. So I'll put up with anything thrown at me. So if you have that desire, you want to come into this industry and do well for yourself, then that's the attitude you need to have. But you will work long hours. You will work through unsociable times. You'll lose your social life. The pay is fantastic at times, depending on what you're doing. You go into a tramping role where you sleep Monday to Friday through your truck, in your truck. You will earn more money than probably a day driver or a night driver, but not that much different. But a few hundred extra quid per month, probably, or a bit more than that, I would say, based on that reason. Working for a company. Now, bearing in mind, when you come into the industry, you're going to be new, you're going to be eager, you're going to be keen. And one thing I've learned in 3 years of doing this nearly is a company can really suck the energy out of a driver. And there's a number of reasons behind this, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I thoroughly enjoy what I do for a living. I thoroughly enjoy my job. But that doesn't mean I don't have an opinion about the industry itself. And after talking to many drivers in the industry from different companies, they all say exactly the same thing. Companies suck out the energy of every driver. And why is this? Well, let me explain to you why. Now, whether you're a tramper, a day driver, night driver, maybe day driver, night driver, you're probably going to experience more logic and more of a sequence of your day. But if you are a tramper, sleeping in your truck, and you're everywhere in general haulage, this is basically the name of the game. You can be told 1 minute you're going somewhere, the next minute that job could be changed based on another driver having an issue. They change the work around, which has a knock-on effect on your day alone. You could have plans for your day. You've got your work in front of you, you know what you're doing. Your work changes. You have to be adaptable. You'll have long hours during the week where you're working up to 15 hours per day, 9 hours off the following night. You only get about 6 hours sleep or 7 hours sleep. You want to relax in the evening, you have a shower, you have your dinner, you talk to your loved ones, you wake up, you do it again. It's a repeating process the following day. So you are going to get lack of sleep at times, because the last thing you want to do when you park up is go straight to bed. So fatigue does kick in. Not being truthful and honest with the driver itself. Now, companies will always, one thing I've learned is companies will do things to benefit them, not benefit the driver. Now, you're a driver to that company. You're just a number, a bum on a seat. Now, some people may watch this video and work for a company and disagree with what I've just said there and say, well, I'm a valuable member to my company. They will be in hysterics and heartbroken if I was to leave them tomorrow. Let me tell you one thing. I truly believe that there's not one company out there that will be truly heartbroken if you left them. No driver is an asset, because a driver can be replaced very easily. The amount of people that are coming through the ranks with licenses, whether they're good, bad or not, okay, no knowledge, but the number game is coming through, where a bum can be replaced the following day very easily just by the company making a phone call and ringing the agency. That's how simple it is. So that makes you feel as a driver not very valuable, knowing that you can be replaced just like that. That's the truth. And that's what I'm learning very quickly, and learning the hard way in some respects as well. I like to think I'm a valuable member for my company. I like to think that. Do I feel that way at the moment? And being truthful with you today on this channel? Absolutely not. I don't feel valued at all. I've seen good friends of mine who I still speak to this day be kicked out of the door very quickly for, okay, maybe faults of their own, which they shouldn't have done, and I won't go into detail on this video with that. So, you know, you get what's coming to you if you break the law to a degree. A company is not going to protect you before they protect their own. But do I believe drivers are a true value to companies? Well, they should be, because without the drivers, a company wouldn't be operating. As simple as that. So, 3 years into my journey as a HGV driver, I must say I am beginning to feel a lot more stressed, a lot more anxious, a lot more tired, fatigued, and pretty much fed up with companies or working for a company. That is how I'm starting to feel. Now, I'm not saying that I'm leaving my company anytime soon, absolutely not. But like I said to you at the beginning of this video, and day one of starting my YouTube journey, I will give you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Now, I just want to go through some statistics here. 29% of HGV drivers were over the ages of 56 years old or older. Now, that article does extend, but the question is, how many drivers are under the age of 30 in the UK as a HGV driver? Now, don't get me wrong, it's not all bad as a HGV driver. One thing I would say about my job, and one thing I do truly love about my job, is I see the country. I see places in the UK that no one will ever see in their lifetime. And maybe you're watching this video today thinking exactly the same thing. Maybe you are one that doesn't leave your town. Well, as a HGV driver, especially as a long haul driver, you will see the country, beautiful parts of the country. And if you've gone back to other YouTube videos that I've done recently, such as the Brecon Beacons, certain parts of Wales and stuff, I've seen glorious places in the UK, and you'll see on them videos. Have a look, I'll leave a caption below or above or whatever. You'll see the beauty that I have seen as a HGV driver, and that's one thing I thoroughly enjoy doing, enjoy about my job. Secondly, no day is the same. If you're someone that likes to be, you can be flexible, and you know, you don't mind change. Every day is different. There's no same day as a trucker on the road. Every day is different, so you have to be adaptable and accept change. Like I said earlier, I briefly touched on it. The pay can be extremely decent. I would say the industry as a whole, the pay isn't the greatest. The pay's good because you do the long hours. I do about 65 hours a week minimum, and because I do 65 hours a week, I earn a half decent salary out of it, or a wage, but I do the hours to earn that. If I was to do 40 hours a week, forget it. It would be absolutely pointless being a driver. You may as well go and work in retail or something like that for the same money and less hours, if you know what I mean. So there is a lot of positives to this industry. You know, if you work for a decent company, and don't get me wrong, there is a lot of decent companies out there that I'd like to think do look after their drivers. And if you work for a great company, comment below, let me know your views and your opinions on that, because I want to know more, and so does everybody else. And I know there is good companies out there that do care about their drivers. I've noticed in the industry that mental health and well-being is becoming quite a big thing. A lot of companies they're a lot more aware of mental health and stuff as well. So there are pros slowly coming through. The facilities are starting to get a lot better within HGV driving as well, especially rest facilities. There's one that's just opened up by Peterborough Services, should I say. You've got Chippenham truck stop that they've spent millions of pounds on extending the truck stop for better facilities for truck drivers down that way as well. I think it's on the M5 or M4, wherever that way. I'm sure it's just off the M4, or is it M5? I can't remember, but it's either one. So there are improvements happening, and they are doing the very best, the government, to improve facilities for drivers. We've got a long way to go, but slowly getting there. Is trucking a better career than I thought? after touching on some of these topics today. And my aim with this video is not to put you off this industry, so don't get me the wrong way. It's to be honest with you and transparent and give you my honest view and opinion of the industry. I think the industry's got a long way to go. I think overall we're seeing a lot of drivers come into the industry with past driving, with their licenses, new passers. And I do believe a lot of drivers are going to be leaving in the near future more than you anticipate as well. So it's okay the government's saying we need over 200,000 new drivers in the next 5 years. But how many drivers are actually leaving the industry after getting their license? I would say a very high percentage of them are doing that, because they walk into the industry and they're shell shocked. This is not what I thought. The money was meant to be X, Y, and Z, but it's not. They never said I work 60 hours a week. They said 40 to 50 hours a week. They promised me my own truck. I don't get my own truck. I've got to share with so-and-so who stinks and doesn't, his hygiene's absolutely terrible, you know, etc, etc, etc. All these reasons pop up. The cracks appear when a driver comes into a company and works for a company who couldn't give a toss about that individual. They want a bum on a seat and get the work done because the company want to make the money. Vicious circle. Bum off, bum in. Bum off, bum in. That is where a lot of companies are. And I truly believe that the industry's got a long way to go, because there's more drivers leaving than actually coming into the industry. And it's a vicious circle around and around and around. And as long as that keeps happening, training providers will stay in a job. Because think about it. If drivers didn't leave the industry, the training providers would be out of business. They need drivers to consistently leave the industry to keep training new people coming in, keeps their capital going, etc, etc. So it's good for the training providers, and that's no disrespect for any training provider, but it's the reality of it. It keeps them in a job. On the forefront of it, it's a vicious circle. I do believe the industry's got a long way to go, and although things are improving, there's still a long way to go, like I said. Is it what I thought it would be? Yes. Do I see myself doing this long term? Yes. Because even though I go through my struggles, I go through my good times and up times and down times, I do believe it's a great industry to be in. It's what you make of it. And if you come into this industry with an open mind, not a closed mind, you'll be okay. You come into the industry with a closed mind, thinking you know it all sort of thing, you won't last 5 minutes, because it will swallow you up very quickly. So have an open mind, listen, learn, and keep your head down is the best advice I can give you working for an employer. If you decide to go on your own journey as an owner operator, open your own company, etc., you do what you want. It's your business, your company. How you do that is up to you. But if you work for an employer as an employee, keep your head down, stay low, do the work. That's it. It's the best way you're going to learn. And yeah, that is my best advice I can give any driver out there. And the reason why I say that is because it's keeping things simple. Don't overthink it and keep it simple. And I have big plans for myself in the future. I can't pinpoint a date on it, but I know what I want to do and where I want to go. And I know it's hard work out there. If you want to achieve a dream and succeed at something, you've got to bloody work hard, haven't you? You've got to work hard. So don't be afraid of hard work. It is hard work in this industry, and not everyone is cut out to be a heavy, good vehicle driver. So on that note, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.